Hello everyone, and welcome back to another preview video for the Tribute to Normandy 44 DLC. And we got to a division that is actually not really a tribute, as it wasn't in the original Steel Division Normandy 44. But it's really cool that we got a new Canadian representation here with the 4th Canadian Armored, and we had it in some cool mods in Steel Division Normandy 44. One of my favorite, Just Before Dawn, had it, for example, and I'm really looking forward to what we got here with this really interesting divisions with some strong air force and the important breakthrough to come behind this division. So it's a key historical division. So nice to have it in game, as the Canadians really did a lot of effort back in Normandy in real life in 44. So good to see more Canadian representation here, and they have some cool stuff as well, as it's an armored division and it's kind of a mechanized division as well, and we have some cool start here from the get-go. Some new units. The Otter Mark 1 is one of these. A boys rifle 10-point vehicle. So that's gonna be interesting. Has radio, has great availability as well. Like fantastic availability at the moment. So you can really spam these guys and just have radios around the map. For 10 points with boys that maybe can kill a half-track if you bring it close enough, or can just stun something down. Like, they're not amazing by any means with the firepower, but could be an interesting unit. Though you have some competition here. The Recce's not really directly one, but they can come in 2-inch carriers, and then it could be interesting. Could come in Stuart Recce's as well, and they could come in an Otter Mark II, which is a radio for 5 points. If you like that, armored radio for 5 points, you can get them there as well, and have them in the Otter Mark II here. American Recon coming in the later phases has some options as well, but they only coming in C phase, so not super important. Scout SAR, interesting tank rider unit here. 8 hit points. Piat Bren for 20 points. That's a good combo. It's basically a rifle squad with a Piat and Recon, and with 1 less hit point. So that's a solid squad. Not the most amazing, but yeah, with solid brands nowadays in this patch, it should be interesting here. Scout SAR availability not high, so you have to be a bit careful there, but I would recommend taking these guys. They can't come in anything with a gun, but they can come in white trucks to get some protection. Normal scouts here can come in Stuart Recce's and universal carriers, so that's pretty standard. No Piat on these guys though. The American version coming in later with Thompsons and carbines, not the most amazing unit either. So Scout Piats, same transport, 5 points more expensive. These scouts here, unlike in the 7th Armored, no sniper or Vickers guns or anything like that. So in that regard, these 3 infantry units here are relatively standard, but you get some nice armored vehicles here with a mate Stackhounds and 5 cards of Sherman at the moment. So 5 cards of Recon Shermans if you really want to spam the Sherman game here already. Kind of doubt that you really want to use 5 cards, but you get all the Shermans you want in the Recon tab, so that's nice as well. Decent little tank, Sherman 5, 80 points, classic, and that's a decent Recon tank there. So good Recon tab here for 4th Canadian Armored. Infantry tab with Assault Pioneers starting. Defense groups here with 1 veterancy, all 9 availabilities, so classic British or Commonwealth availability here. Can come in Willies as well, which makes them kind of the rush unit of this all. Some other options here for the Assault Pioneers, but none of them really better than the Willies. So a lot of Willies and a lot of good units to come in them. Classic Canadian or Commonwealth rush in that regard. The 8th Indian can do some nice rushes in that regard as well. So this is solid. Infantry, obviously you're an armored division, so you don't have that many slots, so investing into these low hit point units might be a bit risky, but you can do it. Engineer leader, pretty standard. 20 points, 5 hit points. TNT, no great stuff there. Can come in command stewards, can come in MG carriers with double MG, but yeah, that's about it there as well. Mod rifles coming in half tracks with a normal MG, coming in with a Piat 8 hit points, so basically the same as the recon unit we just saw. Yeah, same loadout, and they cost you the same price, 20 points, but they don't have spotting, but obviously way better availability, so it really shows you that the other unit is a solid cost-efficient unit for sure. Fiat there is nice. Rifle lates are interesting. They get one more stand, and they get a Browning, which is interesting that they get some more CQC fire, but don't have the automatic rifle, so they're actually worse in CQC, but not much worse, but they're also not amazingly much better in long range, because they lose one Lee Enfield there on the mid range. So yeah, it's a bit of a trade-off there. The original mod rifle's a bit better CQC with the Bren, the other one a bit better on the long range with the Browning. Interesting choices here. Availability obviously also the same. These guys can't come in any half-traffic weapons, but they can come in the C15 TA. So interesting there. Rifles being standard rifles here for the Canadians. Mod rifle leaders coming in with a Bren. 25-point leader with a smoke. Decent one for sure. Can do some CQC stuff. Has the command steward as well. Then the late version has a sniper. Has 6 hit points. Only has the command steward as well. So that's a pretty good leader. But availability is horrible. 2 availability in B-phase leader is terrible, so that's really a big weakness there. Over here, you get only 3 in A in comparison, so only 2 in B is pretty rough. If it would be 4, this would be a good leader, or 3 would be decent. 2, I'm hard pressed to see it with the availability you have in tabs. If it would be a big tab, maybe, but this way, not. The rifle Piat's standard. The rifle leader here comes with the command steward, but nothing special outside of that. And the Piat here, but in B-phase, way better availability. So if you want to take a leader, take them. Yes, they're weaker, but you get big numbers here. You get 4 or 6 of them, and that's way more important. And then we come to the special infantry unit of this division, and those are the Kangaroo rifles, which are a 15-man squad here, which have a lot of firepower. They have a Piat, they have 3 Bren, they have 8 Lee Enfields, 4 Sens. So in CQC they have a lot of firepower with the 3 Bren still firing there. And on long range they have decent firepower with this here as well. Piat is nice on top too, and they get 2 interesting transports. They get the normal Kangaroo, and they get a Ram Kangaroo, which has 1 more MG, has 70 frontal armor because it's based on the Ram tank, but it's a lot slower. So you pay for that extra MG and that extra frontal armor with a lot of speed. But if they come to the front line, they can be annoying to deal with, and they can really push those Kangaroo rifles close to the enemy. And availability here is decent as well. They only come in C-phase, but there they come with decent availability, and once they arrive, they will for sure have some impact on the battlefield. That's a good infantry squad. Like, really strong 430 points. And rifle lates also only coming in C-phase, so your best infantry coming late in this division. But they are good as well. 12 hit points, double bar, no Piat, 3 less hit points, has guards, so I still would take the Kangaroo rifles, especially with the Kangaroo transport being decent as well, but good infantry here in the latest stages. Early on, you have to survive on the 5-man squads and some classic stuff here with the mod rifles and rifles, but at least you have all the classic British stuff there as well. It's not great, but it's decent infantry. Tank tab, interesting one as well. You get some stewards, you get some M475 with the 110 frontal armor, but only in C-phase, as they are American, and the Americans arrive late here. 110 frontal armor, Shermans arriving late. Until then, you have to survive on the same cost, but higher availability Sherman 5s that we already know from the Canadians, and they are solid. They are just really solid Shermans. 80 points, 100 frontal armor, good survivable medium tank with heavy MG to suppress enemy infantry, good gun, and solid rate of fire. And then you get 3 cuts of Fireflies, so you really have some high punching power here as well. Firefly 5C coming in A and B, and Firefly 1C in B and C, so you have it covered over all phases. You're just not as free to picking where to, but the Fireflies here doing a good job for sure. Support is a bit more limited than, for example, in 7th, because you only get your support Shermans in C phase, which is a bit rough. As you get some commanders here. You get a Ram 2, which is looking quite hilarious because this gun is massive and it looks a bit wrong. It does look way better than bigger than a 6-pounder should look here. But yeah, outside of that, not the most amazing availability, but pretty solid, but just not the most amazing units to use it, especially if the face lock, the support Sherman there comes in a bit late onto the battlefield. AT, solid Commonwealth one as well. You get Achilles's with their great 17-pounder, so penetration really not an issue. Normal 17-pounder and 6-pounder as well, so Achilles plus Fireflies really have you covered there, and that's good, that's good. Availability is decent as well, so all is fine here in the anti-tank tab. Transport-wise, can get some Stuart Remy's as well. You can get some supply Matadors if you want to have for these guys as well. Crusader AA, and it comes in the Bofors and the double 20mm version here. Bofors half truck and the Bofors normal infantry towed version on the battlefield as well. Can come in a Stuart Remy as well if you want to have some extra Stuarts running around. So interesting there. Long Tom can't come in any supply version, so want to do that. Get some Crusader tractors here, which have some frontal armor and have some supplies. 15,000 supplies, so that's a decent one. If you want to have some extra stuff here, Crusader tractor bringing the 25-pounders to the front line, though it's only for the 25-pounders, so that's a bit of a weakness there. Artillery commanders and spotters doing pretty fine. And yeah, if you want to have supplies, you might as well try to bring them in with your 25-pounder. Might save you up some support slot, but you can afford it in the support slot as well, so not really an issue. Air tab, solid one as well. P38J, not the greatest fighter, but you got it. You got some Oster and some F6C here as some recon, but American only coming in from B phase onward, not that amazing. Mosquito with 427 kilogram bombs, pretty solid one. Availability not great though. B26, an okay one as well. Good bomb load there. Availability pretty good from B phase onward as well. And then the Typhoons, good fighter and decent bomb and rocket version. Double 454 kilogram bomb, pretty good one, though quite expensive as well. So yep, air tab here doing its job as well. Really cool deck. I like the Kangaroo rifles. It's not the most fancy deck ever, but it has some interesting new stuff here. The otters are nice. The M475 will be nice, and the Firefly is pretty good as well. And yep, it's a solid deck for sure. The Crusader supply stuff here, interesting too. As I said, it could be better, but it's for sure a fine new deck, and it's good to have more Canadian representation, as they really did do their part in World War II. It's nice to see all those somewhat minor nations being represented in video games. So yep, with that said, thanks for watching. Consider leaving a like, a comment, and a subscription down below, and see you next time.